Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today we're going to be talking about the New England Patriots potentially hiring Josh McDaniels as their offensive coordinator. And this is not surprising. This is the third time that Josh McDaniels could potentially be going back to New England. And obviously, it's no secret Josh McDaniels has not had success as a head coach, specifically in the AFC West with the Broncos and the Raiders. And you know, I think you're not going to find a person that thinks that Josh McDaniels should get another head coaching shot or Josh McDaniels should get another job or anything like that. And if you do, and if there's anybody out there that thinks Josh McDaniels needs to get another head coaching job or shot or, he needs a third chance or, third time's the lucky charm, we need to get your head examined. But what I think is that Josh McDaniels is a terrible head coach and should never get another chance. But he is a brilliant offensive play caller. It's a weird thing. I don't ever understand how such a brilliant offensive coordinator can turn into such a terrible head coach. And maybe that's a little scary with a guy like Ben Johnson, coming up in the head coaching circle. Ben Johnson's such a great offensive coordinator, just like Josh McDaniels has been in New England. And you'd hate to see maybe that happen with Ben Johnson. I don't think that will happen with Ben Johnson, though. But we've seen it with Josh McDaniels many times. But anyways, this guy is still a brilliant offensive coordinator. And with New England hiring Mike Vrabel, I think there's a really good chance Josh McDaniels comes back into New England. And I think it'd be a great fit. Like, this guy's worked with young quarterbacks. He worked with Brady as I would say a young quarterback. His first year in New England as the offensive coordinator, Brady was 28. I know 28 isn't super young, but Brady played till over 40 years old, 41, 42. Brady played until he was 43, 44 years old. So Brady still had another almost 20 years of play after that. So he was a part of Brady's younger career, being 28. His first year in New England was in 2006 as the offensive coordinator. And he's also worked with other successful quarterbacks in this league, like Jacoby Brissett, Jimmy Garoppolo. Just talking about younger guys. I mean, he's worked with other successful, Brian Hoyer. If we want to go over the full list, there's been a lot of successful quarterbacks to play for New England in Josh McDaniels' time, besides Brady. But I think he's a great offensive coordinator, and with having a young quarterback like Drake May, it could be great to not only have a good offensive coordinator making great calls as the OC, but also a guy who's worked with a lot of great quarterbacks to come in and be another mentor for this young QB and Drake May. And you have a guy like Josh McDaniels, who spent so much time with considered the greatest player of all time. There's a lot of intel that can be told to Drake May. There's a lot of things that Josh McDaniels can share with him in his time with Brady or other quarterbacks, and not only really help Drake May in his development, but also help the team with the play calling. And I think that'd be key for this team. Like, what would be the best for this team right now is to have a guy like Tom Brady go in and help mentor this kid. But Tom Brady, he's a Fox analyst, and he's about to be the Raiders GM. I'm sure maybe Brady would love to help Drake May become a better quarterback, but realistically, he can't do that as being a part-time Raider owner. So, Josh McDaniels, I think, would be great being a mentor for Drake May and also a play caller for this team. And I think it makes sense. Like, it's never like it's not. There hasn't been much time where Josh McDaniels has had, a bad time with the play calling in New England. Like, it's really the only problem that has been with him has been when he leaves and then he becomes a head coach. So there's never really been a problem in New England. And, another thing is that I think a big thing in the potential hire of this is that him and Mike Vrabel spent a lot of time together. And he was the offensive coordinator. Vrabel was still on the team. So they've spent some time together, and I think that will take a role into this hiring. And I think if the Patriots are going to bring in a new offensive coordinator, I think McDaniels has to be the number one guy. And we'll see what happens, though. I think it's interesting. Honestly, I think this New England team, they're going to be good next year. I'm calling it. They're going to be really good next year. They're going to be like a Commanders of this year or Texans of last year. And why I say that is because you already had the QB. You have the number one part of being successful with a team. You have a QB who's young and looked great in his rookie year. You have a top 4 pick where you can get that guy a weapon, whether it's McMillan from Arizona, the wide receiver. If you get him a wide receiver in the draft, or you draft Will Campbell as an offensive tackle, you bring him some help no matter what. You have a top 4 pick. You have the most money to spend in free agency at $120 million. So you can add in a T. Higgins. You could add in other assets for this team. You have an experienced head coach who's had a really good job in his career with the Tennessee Titans. 6 seasons, 4 winning seasons, 3 playoff trips. I think 3 playoff trips. I think 3. Yeah, he did have 3 postseason trips with the Titans, and so not only that, but you have the cap. You have the great coach, the cap space, the top 4 pick, and the QB, who has looked really good as a rookie with not a lot of weapons, not a great head coach, and not a great offensive coordinator. And then on the cherry on top of all that is you might add an offensive coordinator who has been the offensive coordinator for this team when they have won Super Bowls and has made great plays for the greatest player of all time. So I don't know if the Patriots can take as big as a jump as the Texans or the Commanders have made. Because look, the Commanders, let's be honest, the Commanders are a great football team, but they've played in the NFC, which I think is a little bit. I think if we look at, I think there's more talent in the NFC than there is the AFC. But if you look in the entire league, I think there's more talent in the AFC. So I think it's a lot easier to turn a team around in the NFC than it is the AFC, if you ask me. And then also the fact that they have, the Commanders. The Commanders have the Cowboys and the Giants in their division. And then with the Texans, I will say this as a Texans fan: the Texans we're in a weaker division, or have been in the weaker division, and that's been a big, key part of their success in the last couple of years. So I think it'd be a little bit harder for the Patriots, who are in a little bit of a tougher division, to get back to the top, to maybe turn into a terrible team to the playoffs like the Texans and the Commanders have done in the last couple of years. But I can see them going from 4-13 to 7-9 wins because of adding in Vrabel, possibly McDaniels, a top 4 pick, whether it's a wide receiver or offensive tackle with Will Campbell or the Arizona wide receiver. And then it's all the money that's spent in the offseason with the $120 million. Possibly T. Higgins, possibly more. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts on the Patriots potentially hiring Josh McDaniels as their offensive coordinator. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.